Let's go. Let's go. We done stepped it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Yeah. So, y'all ready?
Man.
Special peace, unity, and love. Welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. I am one of your hosts. My name is Jasiri X. I'm co-founder, CEO of One Hood Media. And to my immediate right, Farouk. Thank you.
I'm gonna blame Ramadan.
Ramadan delay, brother. Yeah. You got caught up thinking about
10 second TV delay.
thinking about eating and drinking, bro.
It is.
We got a while to go.
Your girl Miracle. I am here. Big blessing with the big blessing. Here being right and having a good time.
Yes, Miracle certainly was right. If you missed the last episode, this is the Miracle Redemption episode. And my brother.
It's your boy, Treble, Never Like Supremacy.
Yes.
Next Level Shaman.
Yes.
You know the vibes.
You know the vibes, man. Bringing us comfort and peace
Yes.
in this special holy season. And my brother?
The Ramadan road, man. The attractive Ayatollah. The halal heartthrob.
Get him.
The well-manicured Muslim. The supreme Asiatic intelligently divine.
Yes.
Come on, man.
My brother Saeed.
I'm here.
It's funny. I don't know if we want to get into that, but
Go ahead. It's our show. We can get in whatever we want to, bruv.
Nah, I'm not.
Now
gonna start with
you
that.
started. Now you gotta go. Now you gotta go.
Come on.
Is it, did we have a Ramadan miracle take place?
Did we?
Apparently,
That was a setup.
no. Apparently, the movie 21 Jump Street
Man, just made Kanye do a complete 180. Ended all his anti-Jewish rhetoric.
just like that.
Put Jewish people back
like that.
onto his favorite people list.
This is why we do media. This is why
a Ramadan miracle.
a
Wow.
Ramadan miracle, man.
Yo,
Just
listen.
a Netflix night, and look at what happened now. All of a sudden. But no, we actually had a I wouldn't necessarily call it an attack, right? So I get to put it in
Fan
context.
mail.
Yes.
Fan mail.
We announced our partnership with Free Speech TV. We're on Free Speech TV.
Check your local listings.
Thursday at 9 p.m. every week.
Yeah.
And we made this announcement. We sent our newsletter out letting people know we signed a national TV deal. And apparently everybody wasn't too happy. We got a lot of thanks. We got a lot of celebratory stuff. I was out this weekend and people were saying, hey, congrats on the TV deal, man.
Absolutely.
Shout out to One Hood, But we also received some backlash, or should we say white lash?
Some white lash
To our announcement of our deal. So can you play a voicemail we received?
Oh, damn. I had to
Most of us are moved by white tears because we don't actually think they're real.
So can you play this? I wish we knew this person's name. I wish we could identify this person.
You will live forever in this roadcaster.
So
Thank you so much for memeing yourself.
Sharing your view. So
Congratulations.
you played yourself?
You played yourself.
And then we played you.
Literally.
And then we played you, right?
Quite literally. Yeah, so thanks, mate. We really appreciate you. So this was left for us last Thursday, right after the airing on Free Speech TV.
13 p.m. On Hood Media. White supremacy and all that bullshit. You on fucking TV right now? Fucking TV. Yeah. That's just wild. You never seen no stupid monkey shit like this before in my life.
Monkey shit.
Y'all got BET, y'all got fucking blackpeoplemeet.com.
Who's on Black People Meet?
Blackpeoplemeet.com or a white entertainment television. You know how quick y'all call this shit racist? Y'all sitting here talking about fucking white supremacy? You fucking shit me? Fucking hypocrite fucking pieces of shit. Fuck yourselves. Fucking monkeys.
Well, in the words of the legendary Red Man Reggie Noble, if you gotta be a monkey, be a gorilla.
He was waiting to say that.
Yo, fucking monkeys.
It's so funny to me when people make that argument about like we have a black entertainment television. Is black people meet? Is that still a thing? Are people still on?
I don't even.
Black people meet?
But
Who's on Black
the
People
funniest thing is, whether it's BET or Black People Meet, there are non-black people on these apps and
100%.
on these programs,
Yes.
you know, if you actually watch them.
Yes.
And, you know, whether it was ABC or CMT or all these other organizations refusing to air black people, pay black actors and actresses appropriately, y'all don't have a problem with that. It's always when people create a space where they are loved, welcomed, and accepted. That's the pushback. The racism and bigotry that people have to endure. Nobody cares about that.
Right. And it's right because it's like you forgot, like you said, you conveniently forget that for years there wasn't black people on TV at all, or when they were, if you did see them, we were maids, we were in the background, we were somebody in a subservient
or
role.
minstrel shows, or the characterizations of black people.
Right, but in the history of minstrel shows, many of those people were white.
Yeah, in blackface.
So even the minstrel show wasn't us. You know, it was people like Al Jolson and those type of individuals that were white and blackface. And so like here comes a BET or here comes a Black People Meet, because in these, you know, American spaces, they became almost 100% white. And so we had to carve off, right? We had to start a Pittsburgh Courier because you had a white newspaper. We couldn't write for it. Our issues weren't covered in a way that was uplifting to us. So we had to start our own, right? This is, you know, we had to, the modern EMS that we have started in Pittsburgh with Freedom House, because the police wouldn't take us to the hospital. So we literally had to start our own service in order to save black people's lives. But that's never mentioned. It's like, it's like, you got BET, you should be happy. You got your one network out of 150 channels, you should be happy, right? You know, you got Black People Meet, like you can go find somebody online, you should be happy. And none of the other things that we suffer from under white supremacy ever get mentioned, because as a white person, you don't have to experience those things.
They got white rice.
Yo, so I saw a meme on Twitter that reflects the situation perfectly. It was saying how, like, we live in a country where people are more upset about us talking about racism and white supremacy than they are about racism and white supremacy.
That's a fact. 1,000% correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This nigga called us monkeys.
Monkeys, yes.
Because we want to talk about white supremacy culture, and bring it to the awareness of our own people.
Somebody that obviously could benefit from listening to the show, right?
You know what I'm saying?
I just wonder, like, what was it? Was it like he driving home when he heard the ad?
Yeah, what triggered him?
Was he like flipping through a paper? Like, was he on Facebook? Because he had to look.
Yes.
Be like, what is this One Hood Media?
And then he had to Google us.
He had to do his Googles.
Yeah. Like he had to work for that.
Put the number in the
He was
phone.
just getting more angry at every keystroke. Like, these niggers!
I want to imagine him like getting up in the morning and getting his morning paper and sitting at his table, and you know, he's sipping his coffee, and he gets to our section and he's like mid sip, and then he like spits the coffee all over his table, and it's like, damn these monkeys, and then immediately goes to look for our phone number. That's what I want to imagine in my mind.
So funny.
Yo, I wonder how many more voicemails we might get like this as time goes on.
I can't wait, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Probably, I mean, considering that like we're about to go to the white privilege conference to do our show, like we're just putting salt in the wounds.
I mean, but even then, like you get, like when you put white in front of things, you get all the great, you know, you get white supremacy.
You get all the
white
what?
privilege. You get, you know,
You said Freudian slip?
White women? Is that what you said?
He said when you put white in front of it, you get all the great? Really?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like,
How would you tell?
There's these positives. Like, even when you talk about racism, it could be perceived in a positive context because you're talking about white supremacy.
Right,
just the aspect of it includes supremacy. It's supreme. It's superiority, right?
True.
You talk about that. It's not white inferiority, but it's just like you win every time you mention white in the English language. It's designed.
Oh, okay, got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like when
Now
you
you're
put
there. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm
Took a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
I'm on my
Where are we
10-second
going?
delay for Ramadan. Excuse me. But yeah, like in the English language, you're designed to win if you reference white first, right? So.
Yeah.
It's just,
Even in chess.
Even in chess, white goes first.
Oh man,
It was
the pool of white. It's the white ball,
like a
knocking
boomerang?
all the balls of color off of the table until only the white ball. But the black ball had last, right? You know, the black goes and then you win.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It might be like top 2.
Boomerang.
Yeah, Predator and Boomerang are like my favorite 2 films.
Those are your favorite 2 films.
I love Boomerang.
But to say, it does remind me of a couple of things because I do art, and some of us artists have been having this conversation about like how we use the themes of dark and darkness when we're talking about
darkness is spreading.
darkness, everybody, darkness, and trying to reframe seeing darkness as something bad. And so it's kind of funny how you were talking about whiteness as always being something that's positive,
right?
But to our former conversation, when I was in school, one of my friends, he was like, you notice anytime it's a national organization, that's the black organization. Your National Association of Journalists, your National Association of Physicians, anything national is usually a black or a brown led organization. And it's simply because they did not allow black people to be a part of these organizations. Even if you have the criteria, even if you have the same education, even a more skill set, you still could not get into these industries. And even here in Pittsburgh, to be a lawyer, you had to not only pass the bar, do all this type of stuff, you had to have another lawyer sign for you and basically say you're a person of good character. And that was how they kept a lot of black people from joining the local bar associations.
I did not know that. That's wild.
Yeah. So, and then this is how you like gatekeep, and this is how you keep people out of spaces. And so a lot of people are uncomfortable with seeing like black and brown people in high spaces talking about like the racism, the white supremacy, but they're okay with all of this stuff continuing. They're okay with saying like, oh, black people are too stupid to be in colleges, so it's okay to discriminate against them. Oh, black people are just violent, so it's okay to just make them as athletes and criminals on media. They're okay with that part. But lo and behold, a one hood says, you know what, let's think about something different.
Yeah.
Now y'all want to call us monkeys and waste your good, limited, precious breath and time like on us.
Yes. You know, Miracle, I think somebody actually created a theory about that. I don't know.
We're not. If only there was a theory.
Only there was something that could tell us.
And you could teach it. Like, damn, maybe we wouldn't be here.
If only there was a legal theory.
I keep imagining this person is the same person who created that worksheet with the 3 monkeys and Barack Obama on there.
And then it's ironic that he called us hypocrites.
Yes.
Because it sounds like a black dude. I'm not going to lie.
You thought that was a black guy?
That was a black dude too at first. Like,
Really?
because it's like, how do you know about black people meat?
Yeah.
Because
White
that's
people
the
don't know about
argument.
black people meat.
No.
I'm going to push
that's
back.
not a white-
That
black
is like the
dude.
go-to
Absolutely not.
argument of a lot of white supremacists.
Yes.
You have BET, you have black people.
You have
meet,
Black History
You have
Month.
black girl magic.
Right.
We don't have white girl magic.
Yes, you
We
do.
don't
It's called Disney. They literally did that for 100 years. White magic.
that is like their go-to. They just search
Harry
everything.
Potter, like,
They search everything black, and then
Yes.
they're like, "Oh, you have this, we don't have that." And it was like, "Yeah, because you have everything else."
Yes.
Man.
Now, you know, Miracle, this is your redemption episode, you know.
No.
And to be honest, we probably would have, if it wasn't for Ramadan, we would have your mint chocolate chip
Arguably the worst flavor of ice cream.
ice cream.
First of all,
your mint chocolate ice cream, what you said was your number one.
It would have been, but Ramadan ends on 420.
Yes. Oh,
so right.
Smoke it up.
So on the 25th, we can have my mint chocolate ice.
Smoking on cookie.
Can we just talk about how can we just talk about how perfect that is, though? Like, you
that is
still
amazing.
get to partake in 420.
Wow.
As a modern Muslim.
That is fascinating.
Like 8:05.
That is fascinating.
8:05 p.m.
Astaghfirullah.
Because we're, Miracle, I'm tight. I'm tight because
We didn't get to make the one hood shirts.
no, Trump's still walking around, man. He's still out here.
Like a bad man.
You were right. I mean, and you were right. He did not get arrested. We prematurely celebrated last episode. We were hype. We were imagining Trump giving his State of the Union in an orange jumpsuit. We were hype. And it seems like what Farouk had said, either he punked the DA of New York City, or he punked us, or this was just some ruse so he could raise money, get back in the news.
Any way you spin it, it was smart for him.
I mean, but he's still, and what we're hearing from Alan Bragg is we're still investigating. That doesn't sound too promising to me. Is it we just got to wait on Fanny?
Allegedly,
Fanny's been quiet. Where are these special prosecutors? What's going on?
Allegedly, the grand jury is still out trying to decide if they're going to indict him. It didn't make headway, but we may not even get Fanny to indict him because the state of Georgia just passed legislation that gives the legislature rule over district attorneys. So even if Fanny indicts him, the legislature can remove her now if the governor signs this new piece of legislation.
So wild.
So he may be winning. He may actually be the Teflon Don that y'all spoke him up to be.
Teflon Trump,
and
man.
he may
Teflon
not
T, man.
even get indicted or arrested. He should be. He has committed a crime.
Yes.
He has broken the law unabashedly.
Yes.
It has admitted to basically saying, I can do whatever I want. I can kill that person right there in front of all of you.
Yeah.
And nothing is going to change for me.
It says right now, this came out a few days ago. It's saying, yesterday, it said that the Georgia judge orders the prosecutors in Georgia to respond to a motion by former President Donald Trump to throw out a report by the special grand jury that investigated attempts to interfere in the state's 2020 presidential election. So looking like Alvin's looking shaky, Fanny looking shaky. We don't know what the feds are doing.
Man.
And Trump's out here moonwalking. He's, talking his stuff. You know what I mean?
I have to, at this point, man, you just have to concur with Miracle because, if they wanted to, they would have. They had plenty evidence.
Say it again.
If they wanted to, they would have.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have your flowers. That's why you don't have your date. That's why they're not spending time with you. Because if they wanted to.
And someone who don't want
they
to,
would
trust
have.
me. She ain't lying.
and then now it's saying a trio of House Republican committee chairs saying the House of Representatives is going to take up legislation to strip state and local prosecutors of the authority to prosecute former presidents in response to Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's potential indictment of Donald Trump. And so now they're actually going to create. So if this doesn't happen shortly,
right,
like you said, Georgia kind of went into it and they said, well, we're going to create legislation to take the DA out of the picture. Now the House of Representatives are actually creating legislation.
This is the final level of qualified immunity. This is what qualified immunity is on a federal scale.
But and it shows you again,
there's no recourse.
It's not even a question of if he didn't commit a crime. Right. There was this amazing clip where somebody was interviewing Jon Stewart and they were saying, well, should we prosecute him? Because we'll make him a martyr. And he was saying if he broke a law, he should be prosecuted. What is we don't have these conversations with other individuals when they break the law. If you break the law, you get prosecuted. But if you're a wealthy white man,
what law?
With power in the United States and elsewhere, you have now these conversations. So it's not even a question of whether or not he broke. We all know he did. We all know he broke the law. The question is this system that is set up to this white supremacist system, you monkey. that is set up to actually protect white men. White men created it. White men put it together to protect themselves. It was Larry Krasner, who's the DA in Philadelphia, did a clip where he actually says that this system is actually set up to protect white men. This is why most of the people you see incarcerated are black and brown people. You had a comment, Trouble, on prison President Trump being free?
Man, I wish they used the same type of discernment for black people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, there's certain laws that we break where they could easily have a conversation of, like, is it really worth, taking him to court? It's like, is it? Look at the life that he lives. Look at the circumstances that he's dealing with on a day-to-day basis. He might not be rich, but this is definitely going to... But then I think about the system and how it's designed to keep certain people in certain positions, whether you're rich or poor. And it's just like, damn, this is working exactly how it's designed to.
Exactly how it was designed, exactly how they set up to. And it's disappointing, because indictment day, I was happy.
We all were. We all were looking forward.
Not all of us.
Well, no.
MAGA Miracle came out.
No, I reject. It's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. And I will not. I will not answer to that.
Just serious. She just want to make Atlanta great again.
Oh,
that's what she wants.
I like that. I like that. Well, Miracle, you also talked about the need to protect our words and culture.
Before we get there, I also want to talk about I'm the only person who was like fighting for Ja Morant, and he just came back and had a great first game back.
I don't know.
Unabashedly was like, I'm me. And then we found out he'd been him since like he was like 10 when they leaked his old Instagram photo.
He been gangster. What you talking about?
He been on. And so I just want to just point out, like, love him, support him. I'm happy for him.
Somebody actually did cosplay as Ja Morant, though. Isn't that more support?
Allegedly.
No face, no case.
So this is CNN produced an article that seemed to, again, I'm sure our voicemail caller was also very upset at this CNN article, and it's titled, "What's Digital Blackface and Why It Is Wrong?" And why is it wrong when white people use it? And basically, digital blackface, according to this CNN article, is a practice where white people co-opt online expressions of black imagery, slang, catchphrases, or culture to convey comic relief or express emotions. And you were very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say.
Go ahead and call me another.
No, you were very adamant. You were very adamant.
You call me aggressive?
No, adamant.
Wow.
About certain words and expressions of black people.
Much more therapy.
Black brunch with a black woman. That we needed to have a gatekeeping mechanism. And so here we are. Now here's an attempt by black people to gatekeep, to say these memes, slang, gifts, if white people are using them, that's digital blackface. Do you agree with that, Miracle? Did you write this article?
I did not write this article. What I have a problem with is when people who are not black use black memes for a specific intent and pretend to be black, but then do not act like that in real life.
Do you talk to your parents like this? Do you use that black scent when you're at Thanksgiving? That's the question I always want to know.
Yeah, like, does your grandma know you're black is like my favorite. But a part of it is that there are also people, and particularly with Russian interference and a lot of foreign interference with these bots on social media, the digital blackface are people pretending or giving the illusion that they are themselves black when they may be like the white man here in Pennsylvania who was
yes, remember that he forgot to change his Twitter.
Yeah,
and he was like,
just looking this up
as a gay black man.
Yeah,
and it was
I
like
was just looking this up.
forgot to change. And log into your new Twitter, sir.
And a lot of people have been doing that with the intent to spread a lot of conservative, anti-black, problematic thoughts and beliefs and ideas. I think a part of it is also in media, we look at black people as comedic relief. And so sometimes people will use these images that are of actual black people to convey an image of comedy or of sassiness or of anger, but at the same time, when they love something or something's positive, they don't use a black image as well. And so it's multi-layered. It's not just as simple as like using a Nene meme, because like Nene and Dr. Umar, they have these memes and we all love them and use them and share them. But it's this idea of like your de facto, something's funny, it's a fat black woman laughing. Oh, so you're angry. It's a black woman acting out on social media, and it's not the same for, like, for instance, if y'all watch reality television.
Not much.
Not a lot.
Okay. So like when people, they'll be angry and then they'll use like Basketball Wives or Real Housewives of Atlanta, but Real Housewives about Beverly Hills or Real Housewives of New Jersey, they're fighting, they're throwing things at stuff too, but you don't use those same images, and that's what people are talking about.
Because I remember, Miracle, when that it was a very well-known, we thought, black Twitter person that I followed. You know what I'm saying? We thought this was a black person. It turned out this was actually a Russian controlled.
Oh,
no, it was a Russian controlled propaganda, basically Twitter feed. And this Twitter feed that we thought was I think it was a black woman, and we found out when they did kind of the campaign that this was Russian propaganda. We found out that there was Russian propaganda that was used to basically turn people against Tamika and Linda and Carmen as they were building stuff around the Women's March, or they were building momentum around the Women's March and kind of coming at that. So I think that's one thing. That's the difference between, because you're always going to have some troll putting some blackface on a tweet and pretending to be. I think that's different. This is talking about like white people that we know are white, we know them, and they're using these gifts, like reaction gifts, basically, of black people to convey certain emotions. And
I don't think there's much of a difference between those two, though.
Okay, break it down.
Those Russian propaganda joints are still created by white people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? To portray a certain image of blackness, to get black people to believe certain things. I feel like it's a similar thing as to white people that we know are white.
Yes.
Utilizing black memes to kind of like portray black expressions or make fun of black,
so in this article, and just to put context, I'm looking at this article from Teen Vogue, which it's titled, "We Need to Talk About Digital Blackface and Reaction Gifts." And basically they have a bunch of tweets from Meghan McCain. And it is kind of weird to see Meghan McCain using all of these black reaction gifts, because Meghan McCain oftentimes is, when she was on The View, she was there to represent this white supremacist conservative ideology, and definitely not an ideology that was in any way supportive of or uplifting of black women. I can't think of any incident where Meghan McCain jumped in to support or uplift or defend a black woman, in any way.
For me, it's two things, right? I think that, like, you look at the Soviet influence, like these Russian bots. It's frighteningly intuitive that they can understand black culture and perpetuate it with accuracy online, right? That's actually it's. I mean, I don't want to say it's good, but it's just like, it's impressive, but it's terrifying. The second thing, though, I look at this digital blackface, which is going to lead into the next point, is like they'll do anything to keep from paying black people. They will do anything to just like not pay black people. And this is like the extent they will go to. They will actually create black culture. They will synthesize Black Americana, right? And just like this experience and put it online and put money behind it.
Yes.
Just to keep it out of our pockets.
To your point, I would say there's nothing more studied in the world
absolutely
than Black people. And I'm thinking from like Sarah Bartman to Henrietta Lacks to how we observe people on a daily basis. Black people, we are dissected in every single way. If you go onto any medical journal, Google Scholar, and you put in black resilience, Black pain, Black bodies, Black mental health, like Black dementia, it is there. People don't study other cultures as much as they study Black people, number one. And we are, I would say, in the global diaspora, more welcoming than other cultures.
1,000%.
And so a lot of times, because we do not gatekeep, and I would say because we don't have the inherent need to dominate other cultures, we are more welcoming to other folks. And so we bring people into our communities and our spaces. And so we allow people to build.
We're like the indigenous folks.
Right?
Like for Thanksgiving, we give you this turkey, we help you to live, and then next thing you know, we don't got no
slaughtered and enslaved and moved on.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it. And other cultures do gatekeep. Like we know, like as Black people, we can't go to certain religious centers. We can't go to certain community days because people are gonna be like, why are you here? Right. We're going to get those looks. We're going to get people moving their kids away.
We can't even go to the Country Music Awards.
we can't even go and perform there.
Why are you here?
That
right?
was so funny.
And so I think it's different for us because we don't study other cultures the way they study us. Like, because my last point is across the world, you will always find somebody who can mimic a Black woman. No matter the culture.
Wow.
Like, even if they don't even speak English, you can find somebody who will mimic what they think a Black ghetto woman is.
Wow.
Now, so the question I have for you, and just to coincide with you, in this article that is referenced by the CNN, they reference an article by a woman named Lauren Michelle Jackson, who was, I guess, the first person to talk about this digital blackface. And it says it includes displays of emotion stereotyped as excessive. That's what you just mentioned, right? So happy, so sassy, so ghetto, so loud, but we're not afforded subtle traits or feelings. Many white people choose images of Black people when it comes to expressing exaggerated emotions on social media. But like you said, not for other things. It's just these exaggerated yes moments. Those are the things that you use. Now, my question to you, Miracle, is, are we the most studied? Because in many ways, Black American culture is the most influential culture in the world. So it's some of the reason we're studied to find out like how we get our swag, like how do we, despite all of these oppression and white supremacy, like we still got BET. Like how did we
and Black People Meet?
How did we rise up and found a website called Black People Meet? How do we do that? Is that part of the reason why?
No, I think it's like a replacement. It's a reverse replacement theory. I would argue it's like, how do we finally do something to break them, right? Because they did the white, like hip hop has not had its blues moment, right? When you think of blues, when you think of rock and roll, you don't think of a blackface.
1,000%.
Right? And hip hop has been the one music stream that no matter how much people try, they haven't been able to take it over yet.
Yeah.
Right? Because Black people are still there, creating it, owning it, performing it, moving it, replicating, whether it's rap rock, whether it's mumble rap, whether it's southern rap. It's been able to stay like culturally ours, even if we don't tangibly own it.
Yeah, like even if it's like in the mainstream, that there's a white face at the front of it, we know, like the streets know.
You know, and the streets can still make people famous.
Right,
like,
exactly.
And I think they're studying it to break us. And that's what these bots did with this Russian interference. But even still then, they don't understand the intricacies of how we operate, and that's why they failed at the end, because you were like, hey, you're using AAV wrong,
right?
That's weird, like who are you?
You
know. And because of that, we were able to like kind of clamp down.
Right.
But I don't think it's positive. I think it's going to be other people's undoing, because now other communities try to use these fake bots like, oh, see, black people are racist, or black people are bigoted, and they're trying to have those other communities fall trapped to it. So I think that's where the threat is. I don't think it's going to be black people versus black people situation. I think it's going to be other communities assuming this is how black people think and operate, and then using that justification to harm black people.
Well, I mean, I think that's the point of, if the only thing that we see shared in these reactions or memes are these very stereotypical views of us or images of us, is that's what you share, that's what you find funny, that's what you find humorous, that, you know, idea of this is how a black woman should be. She's sassy, she's aggressive, she's over the top, she's fighting, and that's the only thing that we share. It does give you the impression that now this is what all black women are, this is what all black men are, and then as a whole, like, this is the totality of black American culture, and ignores the different, you know, subtleties and intricacies that exist even within black culture. Even at this table, like, all of us have different ideas or things that we love about black culture, don't like, accept, reject. But you'll look at us and, you know, obviously, to our caller, we were all monkeys. Like, we all fall into that. But it's also this piece, I think, and Farouk touched on it, of you have, you know, the one, I ain't got time for that meme of this woman. It's not like she's getting a residual every time that's being used, right? Or when the guy did the when they put this, you know, she's lying. Like, it's not like every time we saw that guy with the she's lying meme dancing, right? It's not like these like black creators, or when the young woman like created the word fleek. It's not like she like financially benefited off of these moments. And I don't know if there's a way you can do that. Because I think that's another part of it, is we are enjoying, like, who's checked on that sister? You know, the sister that did who's checked on her to say, like, is she good? You know what I'm saying? Her name was Sweet Brown. Like, is she financially okay? Like,
the go best friend girl.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she created something. And it's like, and the thing is just like, do you see these boardrooms? Do you see these think tanks and these writing rooms, these newsrooms? Do they reach out to these people for taglines and headlines? Like, if they can create this, what else do they create? No, they don't. They don't reach out to them.
No,
and they don't check. They don't do any type of reciprocity or kickback for pirating the culture.
And
go ahead.
There was been a bunch of articles about like the influencer deals, and how a lot of black influencers are getting like a fifth or an eighth or a tenth of what white influencers are being offered. And I know we just had the horrible TikTok hearing at the Capitol, but there was also issue with TikTok taking down black creators' content and hiding black creators' content because they didn't understand it culturally, and we're trying to say, oh, this is violent, this violates the agreements. People like, it doesn't. And so even in this whole digital sector where we're supposed to be all equal and fun and entertaining, we're still being discriminated against.
Right. There was a whole piece that I saw that talked about many of the TikTok dances that go viral are part of the HBCU's majorette culture. That like majorette dance culture produces. So it was this dance that got hundreds of millions of views, and there was a black woman that was a majorette at one of the HBCUs that choreographed this dance. And like you said, okay, she choreographs the dance. It gets hundreds of millions of people copying it and viewing it. But what does she get? Does she own this dance? Does she get residuals? And I think this is the piece, because right now, you know, to pivot, Levi, it was an article that came out about Levi, the jean maker, wanting to have model diversity in their space.
Yeah.
And so I would think maybe Levi's would contact some black modeling agency.
They don't want to pay them. But Levi said, you know what we're going to do to increase diversity?
we're going to use AI generated models.
And that's what's crazy, because like I was just thinking about the questions that you were asking about, like how do we take ownership of what we post online as entertainment?
Right. Yes.
But even when we do that, you have a Levi that comes out like, okay, so you want paid now?
Yes.
We're just going to generate AI.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's our loophole. You
yes.
feel me?
And so how do you all feel? I don't know. Like, again, this is that piece that you were talking about gatekeeping, Miracle, about people you basically creating black models.
Sometimes
it's just a minstrel show.
Yeah.
It's just a digital minstrel show, and people don't like to say that, but that's what it is. Most of these AI images that we've seen in the past like 6 months have been of people of color.
Yeah.
And it is like
or
exclusively
it's our culture.
People of color, whether it's the music, whether it's the models, whether
the Kendrick AI, the Kanye AI. Yo, where's Taylor Swift's and Miley Cyrus AI? Where's that?
Where's Elvis's AI, right?
Yes.
It's mostly us. And they will do anything they can to continue the legacy of owning blackness, of owning black people.
Yes.
If they cannot physically own a black slave or hold onto a black body, they will do it in the digital sphere. That is what we're doing.
White man paperwork?
not Dr. Umar, who's tearing our community apart.
Sometimes I'll be thinking, yo, maybe he's not that
wrong. But I mean, I'm saying, and so here's a quote from the head of digital and emerging technology strategy at Levi. While AI will never fully replace human models for us,
the black ones are okay.
We're still going to play these white people. Don't worry about it. We're excited for the potential capabilities this may afford us for the consumer experience. It's not that it's surprising, but to me, I guess it's the boldness of it. Mm-hmm. It's the, like you said, it's the, you know what? We're just going to take your culture. We found a way. Mm. And I can imagine like the first like Android being like, you know, a black man named like Willis or something. And he's like what you talking about, Willis? The black butler for the, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's this idea of like, you're bringing the minstrel show. You're bringing like, and part of it is because we are never addressing the root issue of white supremacy. I mean, most white people, like our caller, don't even want to acknowledge that white supremacy is a real thing.
Yeah.
That it actually are systems in place. You know, I saw this interview and it was a white dude that was supposedly a historian, and he was like, where are these racist systems? And they were like redlining the prison and like they named all of these things. Like if we couldn't live certain places, black people, if we go get a loan, we get a higher interest rate. If we try to go get appraisal, we get less value for our home. It's all of these things that exist. And he was just still like, yo, I don't believe it. I don't think racism exists at all. And so like, because a
convenient existence to just really be able to deny racism because you just don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Like because you don't see it.
Doesn't affect your life.
Santa Claus
does not affect your life at all.
Like it just does not exist to you. But these are the same people that will fight tooth and nail about woke culture.
Yes.
Elves can't be black.
Yes.
God forbid
Santa can't be black.
God forbid you have, you know, a Spanish speaking Jedi.
Yes.
Or some other mythological person. Right?
Right.
That's anything
Ariel.
other than Wasp.
Right. Ariel, right. The last
Ariel,
mermaid.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Like the Little Mermaid. Is that what?
Yeah, Little Mermaid.
So this AI
I got what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, you did well.
This AI model shit makes me afraid of the future of consumerism.
Yes.
Because now they can kind of create this perfect person
100%
in AI.
Yes.
And people already suffer from body dysmorphia on a day-to-day basis.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So it's like now you don't have real people depicting the dimensions of these clothes.
Absolutely.
And now you have people trying to kind of like fit the standards of the measurements you've created through AI.
Yes.
And I don't like where this is going.
I mean, it's in a weird place. It's in a wild place, and it kind of goes back to, we might need your legal expertise, Miracle. We might need you to start, gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers unite.
Gatekeepers unite. And find a way, like, legally, can we say, like, no, we do not want you. Like, what's our recourse? I mean, do we say to Levi's, no, if you're going to have diversity, you're going to either hire black people or we're not buying your clothes. I mean, do we have to take it to that level?
We can't anymore because y'all couldn't even boycott Gucci
for 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes,
I only pairs of Levi denim I own,
right?
Probably like 50 or 60.
But
that means you don't have to buy anymore.
That's very true.
I do think we need like a digital privacy act within the United States.
Yes.
What I worry about is particularly for artists, what happens if you die and you're in a contract?
True.
Can these record companies now make a digital AI of you and have you working for forever?
True.
Can they take?
That's like that episode of Black Mirror.
I told you.
That's a Black Mirror episode.
Go back
real life.
and watch Black Mirror. Creeps me out. It's like a prophecy.
Yes.
But that's what I worry about. I also worry about, like, can people create images of us now that, like, we're out here and then have us say things that we don't believe or espouse. True. So I would like a digital privacy act. I would like a digital surveillance act, like, to protect the American people, the American public, people who are in our borders from these digital AI creations. And then I think the way we combat AI is, like, actually build communities, because I still think that a lot of individuals are lonely and a lot of individuals lack the ability to have community and conversations, and they're running to the digital sphere to create this pretext family. Like, they want to have black friends, but, like, they don't know how to have black friends because they're, like, weird and racist. And so, like, now they can have, like, a digital one, right? And I think,
like, remember Gigapets? Or Digipets, Tamagotchi?
The Chia Pet? Who knew this was just...
Like, they about to have a black Tamagotchi, man. Like, this is fucking nuts.
You know what? Hey, that might be how we come up. We make your digital friend, your digital black friend. All right, I'm going to stop talking now.
Write it down. But I think we, as a community, have to go back into having community conversations, community potlucks, community kickbacks, and that is how we build. Like, we don't need this digital space to create these fake relationships. We need to just build an actual community, and that's what we need to do.
So I do want to backtrack just a little bit real quick, because I'm kind of happy that there's a term called digital blackface out there,
right?
Because I didn't know.
I know who's not happy though. The person that called her.
So listen, I'm happy because I didn't know what to call it when I saw white people sharing memes with the N-word in it.
Yes.
And not censoring it.
Right.
It's just like, niggas be like, or shit like that. I'm like, that just didn't feel right to me. I'm
100%.
like, you shouldn't be sharing this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, what do you say to, again, like, people are right now, and this is a really kind of deep episode. This is a really deep, nuanced conversation that we're having. We're in the viral culture. We're in a culture now where you have had black people, like, purposely do, this came up recently in the show. You have the big muscle bound black dude.
Oh, Andy O'Shea. That's
like runs around. Oh, that's your man?
Yeah. What, the kicks food out of people's thing?
No.
The dancing.
He used to be the dancing gorilla. Now he's a dancing guy.
Yeah, the dancing.
I don't know him.
Are you sure about that?
Positive,
You want to check it?
Yeah, nah.
So he's a big muscular dude. He always wears like a really small tank top, and he's running around like dancing in front of like white people and white women with a big smile on his face and eating food.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this guy.
There was another black guy that was eating food.
Chicken.
And he was eating chicken, and his eyes are getting real big. And so I think you also have. So I think that's where it comes. The difficulties gatekeeping is you have black people who are purposely making.
She who must not be named, Mary.
Right. But they're purposely making this very minstrelly type of content because they know that people will share it. They know that they can maybe become an influence out of it. So the big dancing gorilla dude, he's probably getting booked. I shouldn't call him. But he called himself Dancing Gorilla,
he
right?
changed his name to something else. But yeah,
It's fucking monkeys.
Yeah, monkeys. Your monkeys dancing around and you.
He changed his name. Now Mulatto, she changed her name to Lotto.
Yes.
People have, taken on understanding that who they are as black people in the public sphere is something a little more important.
Right.
But yeah, there are people who will shuck and jive for a check.
Absolutely.
And that is the reality of the world that we live in. And that is why we call them out. We be like, no, sir. But
right, because they'll be used as a shield against us. Right. They'll be like, well, this black person said it was okay for me to share this meme. Hey, a black person sent me this meme. And, so I think a lot of times that unfortunately is the case, is they'll be used against us. Or, somebody might say, oh, well, you shared this meme of a Mexican person, or you shared, and that's that woke culture. Now I gotta be police with what I shared online. Mm-hmm. Here come these wokies trying to stop me from just having some online internet fun. How do we respond to that?
Man, all this woke shit is ruining everything, man. We can't enjoy nothing.
Well, I mean, it's just that
you got Marvel with their wokeness. You got DC too woke shit closed down the banks. It's breaking Wall Street. I don't want to hear about
Wakanda
this,
Forever was threw the black man out the window.
Man, you ain't never been to Africa, bro. They ain't got no tall buildings. All this woke shit Disney's doing.
But I do think it is the insidiousness of online is that a lot of you'll never see these people, and so unfortunately, right, until maybe you do, but normally people never suffer the repercussions of a lot of the BS that they put out there because they do it in their own home, and we might not even know who they are in real life, and therefore, they never have to, face those hands. Yes.
They don't have to come outside.
Yeah, we came from the, you had to.
You gonna say you got to
hurt you?
If you
said
something, you
got to see.
Pretty much had to see that
Talk
person.
It, get it.
And so you learn okay, I probably shouldn't say this. I might think it in my mind, but if I say it out loud, there might be a repercussion. And we don't. Not that we are in any way endorsing any violence. We're very peaceful.
We're endorsing justice.
Who's we?
It is Ramadan. We have to
very peaceful and loving.
Be slow to anger.
Justice is more than the judicial.
Just because we're slow to anger doesn't mean we don't get anger.
Yes.
If I may.
Yes. Oh, what you about to bring out?
In that day, the excuses will not profit those who did injustice, nor will they be allowed to make amends. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Is that your verse for today?
That's my verse for today, man.
Or did you look that one up?
Yep. Man.
There was another funny thing that happened in kind of the social media space, which I thought was funny. With the LAPD put a poll out,
they was like, "Do you want to see more of us or less of us?" And when they got their feelings hurt,
the poll question from LAPD HQ on Twitter: would you like to see more, less, or the same number of officers patrolling your area? More was 22%, less was 74%, same was 4%, and then the LAPD deleted that tweet.
Can I say
something?
That
is hilarious.
Technically, it should be fewer and not less, but
Of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we're in this. I mean, as we're talking about this social media space and black people, we have, we're watching, we've watched and are currently watching Elon Musk actually, to me, purposefully dismantle Twitter. Now he's taking away the verified blue check marks. You know what I'm saying? Away, unless you pay. If you want a verified check mark on Twitter, you have to pay monthly. If you do not pay monthly, that check mark is going to go away. And, Twitter has a For You tab. When you go to do Twitter, Elon is saying, unless you pay and are verified, you will not show up in that For You tab. A lot of people look at this as a way, again, a response to the fact that black people were able to organize some of the largest protests America's ever seen as a result of utilizing social media, particularly places like Twitter. From his own lips, according to what people were saying, Twitter has lost more than half of its value from when he bought it at $44 billion to now $20 billion What do we do now, Miracle? Do we get
blackpeoplemeet.com?
Black people Twitter? Black people Twitter? What do we do, Miracle?
This is like the third time he's like taken over a company and just like ruined it.
Yes.
And if this is not the highlight of what white supremacy, I just don't know
absolutely
what is. And you know, we had a world before Twitter, we have a world after Twitter. You know, there'll be different social medias and we'll just migrate there and have a good time and just move on and build actual connections with actual people.
Wow, absolutely.
Join
Black people meet.
Join the mailing list. It's not like I think it's like onehood.org/connect with us.
Yes. Who knew we would come all the way back to Black People Meet?
Man, listen, blackpeoplemeet.com, man.
We would come our full circle. Wow. Anything else? Is there any other stories that we need to discuss or talk about?
I did want to. Oh my God!
What else would you write about, Miracle?
I mean, no. The
FBI sending fake activists into manufactured crimes for our movements. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be quiet. I just talking about investigations. I wanted to bring up the story of William Virgil, who was an innocent black man in Kentucky who spent over 2 decades in prison and then died right before he got his $28 million from the state. Madness. And if we're talking about how Treble at the top of the hour was talking about the grace that has been given to Trump that has not been afforded to black people.
1,000%.
Please read the case of like William Virgil and understand we have to do something about our criminal justice system, particularly how it is impacting black men. And we're having this whole conversation about like crime and violence. And if you actually care about crime and violence, you're going to have to invest and support black men outside of policing and prisons.
Absolutely. And it's, it's like the FBI sending people into our movements, like when we are just want equality. And what's interesting about both these cases being in Colorado, where the police have sent people in, or the FBI sent people in, they're sending people in to tell us to be more violent. Right? In both these cases where the FBI sent informants into the Black Lives Matter movement, they sent people in to tell us to go get more guns and be more violent and plan more violence in an attempt to sway, individuals that want justice to rise up and do harm. Can y'all send somebody into the Trump criminal organization?
Come on, bro. Come on.
Can somebody, it should be easy enough, right? You just got all these regular white people. Can one of y'all infiltrate them? Can somebody put a bug on one? And it just shows you like that's never the case, right? That by the FBI own standards and own words, these white supremacist movements are the ones that are the most dangerous. Send somebody in to disrupt one of them.
And it's funny because when you read like the indictments for like when these white supremacists get arrested, it's always that like they were going to kill this person, rape this person, murder this person. But then when you hear about these infiltrations, it's like the FBI informant tried to make this person grab a gun and try to tell people to bring weapons. And it's like you literally have violent movements. And you arrest those people and you allow them to go through these reentry programs. But then you target black people, call them black identity extremists, go after them and their families for violence that you yourself created. It's just preposterous.
Like you said, in the case of William Virgil, basically it said police buried the evidence against white alternative suspects to frame a black man for a crime he did not commit. And that's something that we've said over and over. And until we address the systemic, white supremacist structure that this whole country is standing on, we're going to have this happen again and again and again and again. And part of the reason why we talk about it is because we're literally affected by it every single day that we walk in the streets of America. Even when we just
happen to like it, you can get out.
Even if we just happen to walk in one day and say, I wonder who called One Hood today. Is it somebody that might need some services? Is it somebody who might need some help from our diversion program? Maybe it's a child that wants to be part of our We Keep Us Safe program. Maybe it's somebody that wants to engage us in our civic engagement program.
You monkeys could be safe in a zoo.
Maybe it's an artist that wants to be a part of our Artivist Academy. I wonder who called us today at One Hood?
I mean, it's funny. It's funny you should ask that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
White
just.
supremacy and all that bullshit. Yeah, I'm fucking TV right now. I'm fucking kidding me. Yeah. It's just wild. You never seen no stupid monkey shit like this before in my life.
Never seen no stupid monkey shit like
this. I got fucking blackpeoplemeet.com. If we had a whitepeoplemeet.com or a white entertainment television, you know how quick y'all call that shit racist?
It's NBC.
You know,
Fox
I have
Supremacy?
thoughts.
You do have Fox
Fucking
News.
shit me? Fucking hypocrite, fucking pieces of shit. Fuck
I
yourself.
feel like
Fucking monkeys.
this is like a Hodge twin.
So it's just
Am I
me in trouble to
person?
say he sounded black.
No, he didn't sound black to me.
To me, he
didn't. He didn't
did.
sound black to me.
I would say.
Why would
it
another
be-
black person call a black person?
Because they're
monkey?
Just
biracial.
troll. We used to do that
Oh,
shit in high school all the
biracial.
time.
Oh, okay. No, that dude, that the color strikes again. The proud colorist. And Farouk has left the podcast. He about to go make prayer.
I want to sing the song.
Lord have mercy. He sounded genuinely mad though, but it just shows that we can't even, even in a place where we have nothing but black people in the room, we can't even escape white supremacy when we just go hit the voicemail, right? So I mean, come on, man, stop this.
JK, I love all my people, all my hues of
Alternative
blackness,
facts.
my multicultural people, my biracial people. I love you all. It was a joke.
She's a very big fan of Logic, the rapper.
The fact that someone checked him for saying nigga is hilarious to me.
I mean, I think it is a weird place, right? Because
has he
is
ever
white
said it before?
Well, more so he's white presenting, and I think he has to be aware. We might not know,
Right, yeah.
You might see him saying "nigga" out one day, and you
he
might
get his jaw rocked.
100%, and then it's like, oh, but my what does he take a picture?
Yeah, he has to produce a photo of his dad.
But wait a second, this is my dad. How do we know that's not some random black man you just took a picture with?
But it's weird because coming from a legal background, the white presenting people were always your social justice leaders because they had the
Martin Luther King.
because they had the connection and the ability to be seen as not a threat,
right.
And that's kind of been reversed in the past like decade or so of like people are just like tired of carrying that mantle, so it's very weird. It's a very weird time. But again, I'm not multicultural or biracial, so I don't understand like that struggle. And I know it's like deeply sensitive, and it was just a joke. So please don't.
I meant to share this video. There was a video Logic made where he was just like, "I'm a black man," and I just have to accept it. And it's pretty fun. I meant to. I was going to just play it on the show one day. Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
Oh man,
we have a white pages. Did you want to talk about our white pages today, Farouk?
What if I could read? Man, this looks like it would be a great book for educators.
Yes.
It's called Ratchetdemic, Reimagining Academic Success by the good brother Christopher Emden.
Yes. Shout out to Chris Emden, creator of the hashtag Hip Hop Ed.
So he got a.
What is
There's
it?
somebody on here who co-signed this book that we can't say their name.
Okay.
But Jizza talked about it, which is great. Jizza said Ratchetdemic will inspire.
Did he found Def Jam?
He's not allowed back in Ferguson.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Ratchetdemic will inspire a new generation to be their authentic selves with both within and beyond the classroom. I'm actually going to read this book. I've said this before about a few books, but this is something that I think should be in the toolkit of every black educator.
Yes.
It should be in every classroom across America, even though, Florida's an exemption.
Yes.
Our black and brown kids are in Florida. We can't exempt it.
And shout out, I think it's Haymark.
But then the teachers will go to jail.
They can read it on their off time.
Haymark Books has actually been sending free books to Florida. Shout out to them.
Oh man, that's great. I didn't know that. That's amazing. But so Ratchetdemic is our white pages in our required reading, and also the Quran.
Oh yes, it is Ramadan.
It is Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem.
Yes, absolutely. So
I seen this meme. It was like Ramadan Kareem because Mubarak is triggering for Egyptians.
I did see that. That was
hilarious.
That was pretty funny.
Oh,
That was pretty funny. And, to our new fan, you know what I'm saying? We hope that you...
Thanks for the call, bro.
Thanks for the call.
Bro.
Thanks for framing this conversation.
Thanks for playing yourself today,
yes,
man.
but, Turner, you have Fox News. You have, Cracker Barrel. You have places where, you could...
So I've never been Cracker Barrel. Is this like just a white restaurant? Or is it like...
I mean, it is a Southern restaurant that allegedly... No, that actually had to be sued to not put the black people in the back. So they literally had taught their staff.
Behold America.
Is there a ghetto and Cracker Barrel?
So is it the White Waffle House then?
Oh no. Cracker Barrel is like a step above Waffle House, but it's still Southern food. I still eat at Cracker Barrel.
Do you demand to sit in the front? Do you?
Sometimes I do, just to be like,
hey, I'm sitting right here.
Sit me, right there, that table right there.
Front. But it is, and even me and my friend, we went to the one here in Pittsburgh, and I was like, watch them sit us in the back, and they did sit us in the back.
There's one in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, about by Robinson. Yeah, but the biscuits are fluffy and
this for who gets sit in the middle. Is that? Nigga, you gonna be weird.
I told you it is his own internalized anti-biracial colorism that he uses me as a shield for.
I used to get infuriated when people asked me if I was mixed. I would be infuriated. But no, it was.
Do you know I'm actually a multicultural person myself? I'm just dark skinned.
Yes,
that's kind of funny.
We all are.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
So, with that being said, any final words?
Never lose sight.
Yes,
man. No. I got nothing.
Till next time. This week in White Supremacy. Peace. 100.